I specialize in manual lymphatic drainage. Let's learn how to drain the lymphatic fluid from our arms and hand. So we're going to start with clean hands and opening up our major lymph nodes, starting right here at the clavicle, using the entire flat surface of your hand, creating just enough pressure to lay into the skin and warm this tissue up. And we're just gonna do about 5 to 10 downward pulls. The clavicle area is the last place your lymphatic fluid flows before it re-enters circulation in the bloodstream. So we really wanna make sure all of the tension is off of this pocket. I do that by just releasing tension below the collarbone. You can also do light pressing motions or pulling motions above. It's just honestly easier, and you cover way more surface area when you work below the clavicle. Same positioning, we're gonna go right below the earlobe on the angle of the neck. This is gonna help our brain drain toxins and relieve tension in the neck. If you want, you can go alien hands and we'll hit the ears, 2 fingers in front, 2 fingers behind. Pick a direction of your circles and do a few of those, really picking up the front tissue of the ear and really moving that around. Moving to the armpit, we're gonna hook in right inside this little pectoral pocket here. This is where these lymph nodes live. I'm gonna use almost like this come here, like coaxing wave-like motion to pull the tension away from my armpit. If you are in a cast because of post-surgery or something like that, you can also just kind of squeeze here as if you're squeezing water out of a sponge. But if you can reach here and just pull towards the heart. This is where all this fluid's gonna flow anyways, so bring everything in towards the midline. I'm gonna show you how to do this on one arm, but repeat on both. You may notice when you get to your left arm, you hear more lymphatic activity. All of that means is things are moving and grooving. So that can sound or look like burping, coughing, swallowing, stomach gurgling, hiccups, things of that sort, just craving, like thirsty all of a sudden. If you're thirsty, you're dehydrated, by the way. So those things can happen. Stomach gurgling may occur more on the left side. The left side of our body is pumping 75% of our lymphatic fluid, while the right is only kind of clearing 25%. This right side is only going to drain the front and back of the chest, the arm, and the face, while the left side is going to drain the same on the left, the face, the neck, the head, the front of the chest, the back, the arm, the entire abdomen, and both legs. So all this fluid is returning back over this clavicle. It's doing a little bit more work. But if you're hearing more activity on the right side, that's okay too. Like today, my client had a ton of tension on her scalene muscles and her stomach was gurgling up a storm when I started to work on the left side. So it just depends, but sometimes the left is gonna be more. I digress. Let's move on. So once we've opened up this major lymph node, feel free to really get into the diaphragm too, diaphragmic breathing and moving these lymphatic nodes in the gut. The cisterna chyli sits right below the diaphragm here. So we really want to pull the tension off of the tissue here by directing all this skin inwards. You may see me swallowing, I'm moving some fluid. So we just want to get all of these major like traffic jams open before we start draining the extremities of the body, so everything can just flow like a little pump. So once we've kind of opened the major upper lymphatic areas, you can go down to the groin and the knees if you want. Check my other videos for that. Let's move on to the arm. Now, if you can get into this position, you can cup the back of your neck, the back of your head. You can just leave your arm up here. If that's too hard, get like a little chair and rest your wrist and your forearm on it. We're going to be starting closest to the armpit and then slowly moving down the hand. You don't want to drain the hand when we haven't unstuck and unglued the stuff in the arm, because you're just going to push stuck dirty fluid into stuck dirty fluid and it has nowhere to go. So we're going to unclog the pipes from the top down. Now I want you to use this kind of cupping motion, and it's just going to be a small skin pull towards the armpit and then let go or back off. So a small skin pull and then back off. Remember, most of our lymph lives here, but we want to cover the whole surface of the arm. We are not using back and forth motions. Again, we're trying to pull this fluid to the heart. So help the skin, help the lymph, and pull towards the armpit, towards these armpit lymphatic nodes. We got little clusters here, we got little clusters here, little clusters here, little clusters here, little clusters here. So we want to kind of unclog those clusters so we can have all this fluid pass through freely. Excuse me. So again, I really want to work mostly this upper arm. If that's too hard for you to hold up, just rest wherever you can. You can rest this on the arm of a couch even, because your arm may get a little tired. So now we're going to move down to the crease of the arm. We do have like a couple lymph nodes that live here. So we do want to open up that pathway before we continue to drain. And again, these are just very gentle skin pulls. I want to show you closer up. Just enough to move the skin. Just enough. We're not pressing down. This is not a massage. So again, we're working down the forearm. I can just kind of rest myself and pulling down, or in this case, up towards the armpit. So this first part is really relieving the tension in the tissue, in the fascia, using the heat of our hand and the warmth of our hand to warm this tissue up. And then we're gonna get to the hand. Let's drain the hand, especially if you got swollen, puffy hands like I do from my sport, jiu-jitsu, or if you deal with arthritis, or you just for some reason feel like your hands are pulling and holding fluid. So we're gonna start from the middle of the palm and move out. And we're just gonna use very light swiping motions. We do have a couple lymph nodes that live in the wrist, so spend a little time pumping there. And then from the middle out towards the pinky, and just swipe. I'm really sensitive to my own lymphatic fluid. Like I can feel when it's stuck, I can feel when it's moving. As I work on clients multiple times, I can feel their lymph and what it's talking about and telling me. And then from the middle up. And just bringing that up, and then up the fingers. The lymph is actually gonna go around. So you can spend a little time if you really need it and you have swelling or pain. And I'm just kind of hooking and like pulling up. We'll do that on each finger. So all this fluid's gonna flow to the back of the hand. So now we're gonna drain from the top of the fingers down the hand. Especially if you're getting swelling, please try to elevate your hand if you can, get it above your heart. You know, don't make the body work as hard. And then once we do that, we can start working the lymph, baby, and swiping and swiping and swiping. Should feel good on your nervous system. I want you to repeat this on both sides. Once you have drained both arms, let's start guiding all of this fluid across the chest, right towards the midline of the body. You can even go under the armpit and across the top of the breast tissue or the pec tissue. And same thing here, pulling up and over. If we have tattoos like this, please spend a little bit more time on this. Understand that tattoos are scar tissue. Tattoos are poisonous ink into our lymphatic system. They are a toxin. So spend more time here. You're gonna find, like I have a cover up here. This is terrible. I would love it removed, but I'm not gonna create more tissue damage by lasering that off. So the best I can do is to work with my lymphatic system and work with the tissue. If you guys want a video on how to release tattoo fascia and scar tissue, let me know and I will post that. Something else, if you, let's say like you just had a lumpectomy, a mastectomy, you've had an arm surgery where you have limited mobility and you're getting swelling because you can't move as much. You can also kind of create this pumping motion like you're squeezing water out of a sponge, but anything where you are focusing on deep diaphragmic breathing into your belly. The cisterna-chyli, the biggest lymph node in the body, sits right under the diaphragm. If we are not diaphragmically breathing and we're breathing into our chest, it's going to tighten up all this tissue. It's going to stagnate lymph, and then we cannot have a freely moving body, and we're going to feel bogged down and heavy and dense and icky and brain foggy and just gross. So try to breathe deeply into your belly, especially if you're injured right now and you can't move as much and you're feeling heaviness and like inflammation in your arms and hands. The other thing you can do, I have videos on this, is thymus thumping. Your thymus is a lymphatic gland, a lymphatic organ that sits right on top of the heart. You can create vibration by thumping. This can also help calm your nervous system by working with the vagus nerve. And then adding humming to that will create another level of nervous system calming, but also help vibrate and move lymphatic fluid. Tongue on the roof of the mouth and hum. And this will really help move a lot of stagnant fluid. You can start your day with thymus thumping if you have the mobility, but really trying to work the armpits here. This is where we stagnate. We stagnate in the chest, we stagnate in the armpits. Our lymph lives here. It's small skin pulls towards the armpit, working our way down the arm into the hand, starting from the middle of the hand, moving out, up, back over the hand and down. So if you have any questions specifically, leave a comment below.